Good evening, you're now with me, Henry for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. The suspect in the Cyberjaya murder reportedly used the victim's ATM card for 6 transactions in Kuala Lumpur. Iran's supreme leader dismisses President Trump's claims, saying the US missile strike had no significant impact on Iran's nuclear sites. Meanwhile, Israel's national security minister demands a full halt to humanitarian aid to Gaza, accusing Hamas of hoarding supplies for itself. The Sarawak government is in the final stages of implementing Phase 2 of its reef ball project, involving the installation of 300 reef ball structures across 6 clusters, designated as Fish Aggregating Devices or FADS. Sarawak's Deputy Premier Dr. Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said the project, which has been ongoing since 2018, has shown potential in restoring the marine ecosystem, protecting marine habitats and boosting fish stocks in the targeted areas.
Inisiatif ini bukan sekadar satu projek pemeliharaan, tetapi merupakan simbol komitmen Kerajaan Sarawak dalam memastikan sumber alam semula jadi negeri ini dilindungi dan dimanfaatkan secara lestari untuk generasi akan datang, serta memperkasakan ekonomi biru.
The project is part of the ongoing development of the Tukun Reef Ball Corridor along the Sarawak coastline. In 2022, the Sarawak government was recognized by a United States-based reef ball development group for successfully establishing the world's longest reef ball barrier, stretching 746 kilometers.
The Sarawak government said the 2025 Rainforest World Music Festival remains a resounding success despite a lower turnout of 22,148 people compared to last year's 26,000. Minister of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Sarawak, Dr. Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamza, said the true success of a festival lies in its economic impact and how it benefits the tourism sector and local communities, not merely by crowd numbers.
I can understand when it comes to music festival that we are organizing, there have been the numbers menurun, partly because within this region, whether it's in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Jakarta, Manila, there have been so many concerts. There have been so many concerts. Habis-habis COVID-19, there have been an upsurge. But that does not mean that if we did not hit the target, it's a failure.
At a press conference for the 2025 Petronas Youth Football Closed Tournament earlier today, Karim said that the festival's return on investment is not measured solely by ticket sales, as foreign visitors also contributed to the local economy during their stay.
Almost half of them are from outside. When they are from outside, they have to stay at the hotel. They have to eat food down here. The spin-off is where I look at it. In tourism industry, it is, you look at it from that angle then. You cannot look at it to get a profit. It's not easy.
The Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak MEITD has clarified that it has not authorized any individuals, agents or third parties to offer the Sarawak Free Tertiary Education Scheme or FTES. In a statement, the ministry strongly warned that such actions can be deemed as an attempt at fraud, and the government will not hesitate to take legal action against any individual or organizations involved. Any official statements related to the FTES will only be issued by MEITD through the official communication channels of the Sarawak government. Police investigations revealed that the suspect in the murder of a university student in Cyberjaya withdrew money using the victim's ATM card after her death. Sepang District Police Chief ACP Nur Hizam Brahman said 6 transactions were traced around the Kuala Lumpur area.
Several other personal belongings were also reported missing, including the victim's laptop, mobile phone and cash. Nur Hizam said the police are conducting a thorough investigation and have begun recording statements from witnesses while continuing to gather relevant evidence. He also appealed to the public to give space and full cooperation to facilitate the ongoing investigation. Police are currently tracking down a male individual believed to be the prime suspect to assist in the investigation under Section 302 of the Penal Code. The victim, a 21-year-old Bachelor of Physiotherapy student from Kuching, Sarawak, was found unconscious with visible injuries by a friend at a student hostel in Mutiaraville around 10 a.m. on Tuesday. She had been staying alone in the unit since June 21st after her 5 roommates left for the holidays as she was preparing for an upcoming exam. Earlier, police confirmed that a post-mortem established the cause of death as a blunt force trauma to the head with no injuries indicating sexual assault. Nur Hizam also urged anyone with information to contact the investigating officer as displayed on screen or report to the nearest police station.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Women, Family and Community Development, Datuk Nancy Shukri, has called for full transparency in the ongoing murder investigation. Nancy said she had the opportunity to visit the victim's family in Cyberjaya earlier this morning and prayed that their affairs would be eased and they would be given strength to face their hardship. Earlier, Sepang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Nur Hizam Brahman said his department received a report of the incident at 10:28 a.m. on Tuesday, and police are currently tracking down a man believed to be the main suspect in the case. And the federal government has exempted the sales and services tax SST from the imports of apples and oranges. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the matter was decided during a cabinet meeting on Tuesday after survey results showed that more purchases of the fruits were made after it was priced affordably.
Selalunya Menteri Kewangan kalau dapat keputusan kena tetap, tak ubah-ubah sebenarnya. Tapi saya sebut kepada rakan-rakan jemaah menteri, dengar-dengar ada musabah juga. Jadi semalam kita beri kelonggaran import buah-buahan. Memang ada sedikit cukai tetapi dikecualikan apple dan orange.
Previously, the Ministry of Finance had explained in detail on the expansion of the SSD effective July 1st, which included 5% imposed on imported fruits. This measure was taken to concurrently strengthen the domestic agriculture industry and national food security.
Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir called for a complete halt of humanitarian aid to Gaza. On X, he claimed that Hamas is hogging all the supplied goods and food for themselves. This will backfire to Israel once Hamas is ready to launch their next attack. The Zionist regime leader further stated, stopping the aid will quickly bring victory to Israel and demands his prime minister to bring up this issue during the next cabinet meeting. Food has become extremely scarce in Gaza since the tight blockade on all supplies was imposed by Israel throughout March and April, threatening many of the 2.3 million people who live there with a critical risk of famine. Since the blockade was partly lifted in May, vehicles carrying supplies face major blockades by the IDF, and once crowds gather around to procure supplies, some were shot to death while others scattered to take cover. The impact from U.S. missile strike on Iranian nuclear sites were exaggerated by President Donald Trump. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said rather than successful strikes, the attack did nothing significant to the country's nuclear facilities.
به مراکز هسته‌ای ما حمله کردند که البته این در خور پیگیری جزایی در دادگاه‌های بین‌المللی است به طور مستقل، اما نتوانستند کار مهمی انجام بدن.
He continued on by stating that Iran will carry out more strikes on U.S. bases in the region if Iran came under another attack by the United States.
اینی که جمهوری اسلامی دسترسی داشته باشه به مراکز مهم آمریکا در منطقه و علیه آنها هر وقت مقتضی دانست اقدام بکنه، این حادثه کوچکی نیست، حادثه بزرگی است. در آینده هم این حادثه قابل تکرار است در صورتی که تعرضی صورت بگیره. هزینه دشمن، هزینه متعرض قطعاً بالایی خواهد بود.
Teacher placement in Sarawak has now reached a satisfactory level, with over 90% of positions filled. Minister for Education, Innovation and Talent Development, Dr. Sri Roland Sagawiin, said while it is not 100%, the current placement rate is still more than enough to meet the region's educational needs. He said this progress is especially significant in ensuring that students in rural areas receive the support they need in key subjects.
Penempatan guru, saya ingat lebih 90% orang bersara, orang berpindah memang bila-bila masa saja. Seperti mana juga penjawat-penjawat awam yang lain. Tetapi yang lebih penting adalah kita ada guru untuk subjek-subjek yang kritikal untuk student kita, lebih lagi di luar bandar. Buat masa ini kita boleh dikatakan mencukupi.
Saga reiterated the state government will work closely with the Ministry of Education and the Education Service Commission to ensure the current rate of teacher placement continues, prioritizing Sarawak-born candidates to reduce rejection rates and improve the effectiveness of teaching.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.